All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy and I'm back. I hope that you guys are doing well and being safe. All right, it is a Sunday fun day. I hope that you guys are enjoying it and you guys know that the weather is changing, so it's becoming spring and my birthday is coming up, you guys. May 10th is my birthday. I'll be turning 33, so I'm excited. All right, and make sure you guys give this video a like. All right, so I do want to go ahead and just get right into the video. I'm going to be answering some questions, and we're going to be talking about, we're going to be answering questions about dating and relationships. We're going to be talking about transitional supply and also what it's like to be in a secure relationship, because I think that's really important, because if we're dealing with a narcissist, of course, that relationship is super unstable, super unhealthy, super toxic. So it's good to also know what it's like to be in a secure, in a healthy relationship, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. And again, I just wanted to say thank you guys for your support. Thank you for leaving comments, likes, and feedback on the video. So yeah. All right, so the first question, you guys, that I wanted to answer is how many failed relationship does the narcissist need to go through to finally realize they could be a part of the problem? That's a really good question. The unfortunate part is the narcissist does not like to take accountability for their actions. So for them to realize that they are a part of the problem will be really difficult, because that's not something that they actually would do. That's not a part of their thought process. They don't think like, well, man, like maybe I'm the one that's causing, the destruction of this relationship. Maybe I'm the reason that it didn't work out. I'm the reason why I have many failed relationships, over and over and over again, and I can never be happy and I can never settle down, or, that type of thing. So yeah, that is really the case. But again, there's some instances where some of the narcissists can realize that they may be the problem. And as far as how many relationships that can take, it could take maybe 5. I'm just guessing, because like I said, I don't really know any narcissist that will admit to being the problem, that will say like, hey, I made a mistake, or, apologize or give some form of closure. It doesn't happen. It's not a normal thing with a narcissist, So yeah, but I hope that answers the question. But I would say maybe between 3 to 5 relationships or so. Some of them could, recognize it and seek help and seek support, but it's rare. But yeah, hopefully that answers that question. And the other question is why we need to understand someone's mental health before getting involved with them. That is super important. And I think that that's really a good thing to be able to understand, because a person's mental health can actually affect the relationship. Not only can it affect the relationship, but it can affect you while you're in the relationship. And it can cause the relationship to have, misunderstanding, miscommunication, and it could have a lot of tension and anxiety, and causing it to kind of be like, at the point where it's not able to continue, and so understanding someone's mental health is good. So with that being said, I feel like, if you're able to ask a person questions about their past, about their personality, their mentality, who they are, get to know them. You guys check out that video that I made where I talked about questions to ask a person that you're dating, because again, we want to get to know who we're dealing with, because if we don't know, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? So and even that could go with friends. Like, you want to get to know your friends, ask them questions. What do they like to do? What do they enjoy? And what are the hobbies? And what's their work life like, or what's their family life like? Ask them questions. And this could also go for your romantic partner. Ask them who they are, But yeah, you definitely want to understand a person's mental health. And that can kind of help you as far as like, you could decide if you want to deal with it or if you don't want to deal with it. That's your choice. That's your option. You want to see if they're actually working on their actual mental health. Are they, practicing self-care? Are they practicing, things that are going to help them to be a better person? Or if they have like medications or something that they take, you want to see, are they taking their medications often? What happens when they're not on medication? What's that going to be like, because I would say like, if you're dealing with someone, maybe they have a mental illness or a mental health issue, that can definitely it could be like a deal breaker for some. It could, not for all, but some people could be like, it could be a red flag. And it could really determine how that relationship is going to be. But I would just say ask questions. And let's say if the person that you're dealing with does have a mental illness, do some research on that mental illness and see if that person is proactively doing the things that they need to do to better themselves and to not let that mental illness overcome them. Right. So I do hope that was helpful, and make sure you guys give this video a like if you're watching, and please feel free to introduce yourself if you're in a room. Where are you guys from? What are you guys doing on this Sunday? I know over here where I'm at, you guys, like the weather is cloudy, but I checked the weather and it looks like, I think, is it next week? It's supposed to be like in the 70s. So I'm like, yes, super excited about that, because here in Illinois, you guys, it's like cold throughout the entire year. So like we have like May, June, July, and August is when it can get warm. And then right after that, it's like, it's cold again, So I always get excited like when the weather starts to warm up. But right now it's super cloudy. Yesterday it did rain. So yeah. All right, so the next question, you guys, is why we should never agree to be friends. That's the sirens out there. Why we should never agree to be friends with an ex narcissist. And I think that's really good. Thank y'all for the like. I think that's really good question, because I feel like that's something that I did. And I think that kind of set me up for failure, and it set me up for heartbreak, and it set me up for being disappointed and let down. And so I would say, do not be friends with your ex narcissist. It's not going to do you any good, because essentially this narcissist is going to future fake you and make it seem like, oh yeah, like we're going to be more than friends. Yeah, things are going to work out. And once you get this in your life or accomplish this, we're going to be together, and this and that. And it never happens. And then it just leaves us devastated, heartbroken, and sad, and feeling lonely, and all this depression and anxiety, you know what I mean? And so I don't recommend that. I recommend, if you had a narcissist and you're no longer dealing with them, just cut it off. Just go no contact, stay no contact, and keep your distance. If you have kids with this person, try to co-parent with them the best way you can, or parallel parent with them. And if that doesn't work, you may have to some way, somehow. And I've also heard people say, like, the courts and the authorities, they really don't care about parenting, especially like if you had like an abusive partner, the court system, they don't care. And that's very unfortunate. But you really do have to try to make sure, you don't share information with them, and don't talk down about the narcissist to the kids, because, kids, as they grow older, they can kind of decide and, understand which parent is the problem. They can, grow to learn that, And Gary, hey, you said what's crazy is how they'll future fake us while posting photos of their new supply. Wouldn't recommend bring friends with them. Yeah, it is very, very crazy. Yeah, they will definitely future fake you. And for you, you're just like, what is going on? What happened? Like, you feel like a fool. You feel played. You feel like they took me for, just took me for granted and took advantage of the situation, So yeah, you just want to be careful about that. And as I said, my experience dealing with the narcissist, I could definitely tell you that I was future faked. And I think the narcissist, he had a lot of like, I would say, rage and anger towards me. And I guess he felt that narcissistic injury of me telling him like, no, I don't want to be your side chick, although we still dated technically. But yeah, he didn't like that. I said no, I turned him down, but we still remained friends. And I think at that moment in time, I should have just cut it off. I should have never like been in contact with him. And I should have never been like going to his house still and still going out on dates with him. I should have never, ever done that. But again, it's a lesson, but yeah, it could set you up for a huge, huge disappointment that we could all have avoided, so. But yeah, that new supply though it's hurtful to experience that, because you're just like, wait, was I the problem? Was it my fault? Did I do something wrong? Is that person better than me? Like you feel like a lot of just your thoughts just go crazy. You feel like just worthless, and you just like, oh my God, like what happened? So, and you feel regret too, and you may like miss the narcissist, and you could have anger towards this narcissist as well. You could feel like, oh my God, like I wasted my life. I wasted all this time, and they ended up choosing somebody else over me anyway. You like, was I not good enough? Was I not pretty enough or handsome enough? What was wrong with me, But understand, it's not your fault. It's the narcissist. It's not you. So. But yeah, so I hope that was helpful. So the next thing is, you guys, I wanted to talk about the transitional supply. And let me know, you guys, do you feel like you were a transitional supply? And I can tell you guys, in the beginning when dealing with the narcissist, I feel like I wasn't the transitional supply. I mean, I could have been, but I do know for sure, as the time went on after I turned them down, I know that I was the transitional supply. And even dealing with the borderline in my life, I feel like I was. In the beginning, again, I think that because when I got to know these people, it was like everything was good. They were love bombing me, and I was like falling for it and this and this and that. But then I think like when the mask came off and I started to see their real intentions, and I saw like how abusive they were, then they were like, okay, yeah, she's not going to put up with this. She's going to call me out. She's going to be like, hey, you got to treat me this certain way. She's not going to accept nothing less than what she deserves, And so I feel like in that moment in time, that's where I became the transitional supply, and so, but yeah, so I'll tell you the story with the borderline. But before I do that, I just wanted to share with you guys what I believe a transitional supply is. Basically a person that the narcissist will idolize you. They will love bomb you and groom you, but you're like a placeholder until the narcissist can find someone that they can like be in a serious committed relationship with, or somebody that is more tolerant to the abuse versus yourself, because maybe you call them out, you speak up for yourself, you stand your ground. And narcissistic people or borderline people, they don't like that. They want someone that's going to put up with it. They want a yes person. They want a people pleaser, and they want someone that's codependent, because the narcissist is codependent as well. And so if you come in this situation and you're independent, you're confident, you're strong, these narcissists don't like that. Or on the flip side, they will try to bring you down. If they see that in you, they're like, oh yeah, all right, I can tear them down slowly but surely. I can, abuse them, and I can break their confidence, and I can ruin their self-esteem, and I can, just destroy them, cause destruction in their life and make their life a living misery, a living hell. You know what I mean? So yeah. And Gary, you said just love bombing 3 months or less. Then they get bored. Yeah, absolutely. And I can tell you, Gary, that the male narcissist that I dealt with, as I told you guys, he told me that he was single, but he was actually in a relationship. And it took 3 months for him to actually come out and tell me, right? But as I said, me being young, I was 21 at the time. I'm 32 now, but of course I learned. But yeah, when he told me that he was in a relationship, again, I was already love bombed. I was already, in a sense, kind of quote unquote in love with his false self. And I was thinking like, okay, well, maybe if I stay with him, I can change him, or maybe he would leave his girlfriend for me. Narcissistic people don't do that because they want multiple people at a time anyway. So always remember that. But yeah, the grooming and going out on dates and, just having a good time and cuddling and doing all those things, I had already experienced that. So it was hard for me to just like let that go, especially because, in a sense, I wasn't really used to that. And my dating experience at that point in time, I didn't have much dating experience. So it was new for me. And I was just like most of us, we don't want to let that go. It feels good for the moment, but in the end, we realize it's like, no, we don't want that. And so, but yeah, that can definitely happen. But, okay. So yeah, I almost was forgetting my train of thought. But yeah, the transitional supply, though, you are just a person that the narcissist is using. They're future faking you. You are a placeholder for this narcissist until they can find a better supply, somebody that they can use more and that will put up with the abuse. Somebody that may not understand relationships and dynamics. Somebody that, again, as I said, is a codependent. Someone that could be desperate to a certain degree, and somebody that feel like they can't be alone. You know what I mean? And the narcissist, they will groom that person too. They'll fill them out and see if, if they can put up with the abuse, if they'll speak up for themselves, if they know their worth, if they know their value. You know what I mean? And so that's basically a transitional supply, And as I said, my experience with the narcissist, as I said, after I basically said, like, no, I don't want to be a side chick. I felt like he was just in my life, just setting me up to let me down. In his mind, he wanted to destroy me. He wanted to kill my dreams. That was his whole goal, but he didn't, But that's what he wanted. And so you just want to be careful of that. But with the borderline, you guys, I wanted to share this story with you. So the borderline, I met him at work. And I want to say this was back in 2016. And as I said, I just think I was at a point in time, I was still coping and healing after the narcissist. And I met this guy at work and he seemed cool, is what I thought. And, we would go out and we would have lunch with each other and get to know each other, whatever. And he ended up spending the night at my house a couple times, which wasn't a good idea. But what I would tell you guys is he would be staying and doing certain things that were, they were abusive. I could just tell you that. But I remember one time he had a battle rap. And the battle rap, it was good, but he was kind of, I guess, distancing himself from me. And hi, delicate, greetings, welcome. So yeah, he was distancing himself from me slowly but surely. Again, I was asking him questions. I was kind of calling him out on certain things. And so anyway, after his battle rap finished, it was the weirdest thing, you guys. Like I'll never forget this. I was sitting on one side of the call center, and he was sitting on the other side, and they was talking about his battle rap because most of the people from the gig that I was working at, they had all went, and they was like, "Yeah, he's a good battle rapper, and this and that." And you guys, I'm so embarrassed, but like, so that he was like, "Yeah, I forgot what it was, but somebody was complimenting him on the battle rap." And then I was like, yeah, like you did a really awesome job at the battle rap. And you guys know what he told me? He was like, you were there? And I'm like, what? Like, and then I don't know. It was just the weirdest thing. I'm like, what do you mean I was there? What, asking me if I was there? You invited me to go, So that was definitely one thing that was a red flag. And then another time, I remember where I was staying at in Long Beach. It was kind of, it wasn't the best neighborhood, but it wasn't the worst neighborhood. But I guess I was just feeling a bit insecure of like where I was staying, because at the time, as I said, I was dealing with depression and anxiety after going no contact with a narcissist. My life was like a complete mess, you know. But I remember I had shared with them, I was like, yeah, you know, I do feel a little insecure about where I stay, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, I understand. He was like, you know, just be grateful that you have a place. And I'm like, yeah, of course, I know that. But I remember one time we had got off of work and we was at the house, and we had went shopping, and we came back and I was like cleaning up and sweeping. And he was like, yeah, something, something, where you live at, yeah, you shouldn't be living in this area. I'm like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I felt like he was throwing in my face what I had told him in confidence, like that he wasn't gonna like try to use it against me at a later time, you know? So I should have took it as if like, okay, yeah, he's not really a good person to be with. He's abusive, and I shouldn't really trust him to be like, I shouldn't be in a relationship with this individual, you know? So yeah, those were just some experiences that I had with the borderline, and yeah, it was hurtful. It was definitely hurtful. And he, like I said, he had an anger problem. He really had an anger problem, and luckily he didn't take it out on me, but he would take it out on other people. And another thing about this borderline I want to share with you guys is I noticed that he would always kind of like pick friends over me. Like, it was weird because, as I said, we worked with each other, and I don't know what it was. And this is why I don't do this anymore. I don't know. Do you guys date people that you work with? Like, I would love to hear you guys' feedback. What do y'all think? But I noticed like when we started dating, the people at the job, like they would be like trying to, I guess, talk to both of us or whatever at the same time. Like they would be like, oh, so where are you guys going? And where are you guys going? Blah, blah, blah. And there was this one manager in particular, and I really didn't care for him at all. I was just like, whatever. And every time, like me and the borderline, we would go to lunch. As soon as we would like be ready to head to lunch, he's like, "Oh, where y'all going? Where y'all going?" And I'm like, "Why do you care? Like, it's not like we're with you, you know." And then there was this one time we went to lunch, and the manager, you guys, this is the manager of this call center. He literally pulls up behind us, like we're walking to Target, and he's like, "Where y'all going? What y'all having for lunch?" And I'm like, we was like, we don't know. And he was like, "Oh, I know somewhere to take y'all to lunch." And I'm like, okay. I personally did not want to go, but the borderline, he just was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." I guess he liked him for some weird reason. And I actually thought that this manager, I thought he was gay. And I actually thought that he liked the borderline, which the reason why I thought that he was trying to intrude in on our relationship. And I'm like, that's weird, you know, but you know. So yeah, we end up going to I think it was like this fish chicken place, and I think I ordered a fish sandwich or something like that. It was good, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like the borderline, he could have just been like, no, like we're gonna go somewhere else, you know. And I don't know, I just felt like that was a red flag, because I felt like he didn't really like stand up for me in those situations. Like he would just allow anybody to just kind of like come in on that in our relationship. And even like when we was in the car and stuff, like he was like, the borderline was in the front and the manager was in the front and I was in the back. And he was just saying like little things to me. I can't remember exactly all he said because it's been such a long time. This was like back in 2016. But he was just making like little like smart aleck, sarcastic comments about me. And I don't know, it was just weird. I think he was also talking about the battle rap as well. Like this manager would be at the battle rap too. And I don't know, I never really got along with the manager. I always felt like he was just like fake. And that's another thing about people in California. They're known for being fake. And I would say some of them are, but the friends that I have been blessed to meet are actually genuine. And I'm just so grateful for that. But Gary, you said no one has more friends than a narc, from what I've noticed. The narcissist has harems. They have flying monkeys. They have agents. They have their minions. That's what they have. And they have fans as well. That's the narcissist. And some of these people, again, they don't even know who this narcissist is. They only see like the outer, like the perfection of this narcissist and everything being okay, but that's not who they really are behind closed doors. And that's something that I've actually experienced from both the male narcissist as well as my aunt that was a narcissist. And even technically the borderline, because I didn't know he was that crazy. I'm just saying. Because I heard it in his music, but I was just like, yeah, like he has some mental thing going on, you know? And I do have compassion for people that have mental illness. I totally understand, especially the world that we live in is a crazy world. So you're going to have people that have mental illnesses. So I completely get it. But if you are not making it an everyday thing to be better, to progress, and to make sure that you're tending to your mental illness, then it's like, what's going on here? Are you okay with being in that type of condition and in that state? You know what I mean? But yeah, those were just some things that I wanted to share with you about the borderline. Like I said, this has been such a long time. And yeah, I'm happy that I was only dealing with that borderline for like 4 months, thank God. And I got away. But yeah, no, the way that it ended though, I think Gary, you had said before, I think it was last week, it was just dramatic, super dramatic. And I was just like, really, you went through all that? Like, and the funny thing about it, you guys, like the supply that he had, and I think everybody is beautiful. I don't think anyone is ugly, but people were even telling me, because this is the crazy part, because like I said, people were just so nosy, so involved in our relationship at work, which I'm like, I'm not doing that ever again. But they were like, oh, we seen the borderline with that new person. This one girl told me in particular, because I remember I was driving Lyft and Uber, and she was like, Joy, have you seen the borderline's new girlfriend? And I was like, no. And then she had shown me a picture, and I was just like, oh, okay. And even the girl, she was like, yeah, she looks like a boy. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. And I can tell you that some of these borderlines and some of these narcissists will actually choose someone that is less than you, that's less attractive, and they do it just to throw it in your face, just to spite you, just to cause you, more pain, just to cause you more just self-hate and self-disgust and self-blame. Like they will do that on purpose, so. But yeah, no, the one girl that I was working with, and I would be dropping her off to work, and she had knew the borderline too. She was like, yeah, girl. She was like, you are not missing out on anything. She was like, you could do so much better. Like, don't worry. She was like, yeah. She was like, his new girlfriend looks like a boy. And I felt very humiliated because everybody knew us at work. And because like I said, it was super small, super secluded. So they knew that me and this borderline, we were dating. And yeah, it was super embarrassing. And it's funny because she was a model. And I mean, I think people are beautiful. I don't think anyone is ugly, but she did kind of look like a boy. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying it to be mean or harmful. It was just a lot of people came and told me, they're like, Joy, like, yeah, you can do a lot better. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So but Gary, you said, yeah, they'll defend them to our family and friends while they're secretly smearing us behind our backs. Yes, isn't that crazy? Like we will defend narcissists, we will defend borderlines, and we don't know what we know. You know what I mean? Like we don't know that they're a narcissist. We don't know that they're abusing us. We don't know that they're actually our enemy. Like, we don't know that they're future faking us and smearing us behind our backs. We have no clue until it comes out. And other people will tell us what's going on, or we will find out on social media, text messages, whatever. And it's hurtful, right? It's super hurtful, and like I said, I at the time, this was like back in 2015, I had done like just a little bit of modeling. It wasn't like anything serious, but it was just like, just things that I was doing for fun, and to find out that he was with another model, and I was just like, yeah, you can have him. I'm good. Yeah. So, but I hope that was helpful, and just letting you guys know, if you are a transitional supply, understand you are actually in a good situation, because eventually the narcissist will either discard you, or you will discard them, and you'll be free of that individual. But it'll hurt, it'll be painful, but you will get away from this particular individual. So yeah. But I hope that was helpful to you guys. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about, you guys, is what's a secure relationship? What's it like being in a secure relationship? And I think that this is really important, because I feel like most of us may have experienced an insecure relationship, a toxic relationship, a dysfunctional relationship. And we know all about that, or we still may be learning about it. But what happens when you actually meet someone that's good for you, someone that's healthy for you, and somebody that really, really, really genuinely wants to be with you? What is that like? So I'm just going to go over that. And yes, but I wanted to share with you guys. I got it again from the Brain Coach. So definitely feel free to check out her page on Instagram. Super valuable information. I'm assuming that it can help somebody, because I know that, it was great info for me. So there's 8 of them to find out what's a secure relationship. So the first way to know if you are in a secure relationship is you feel understood, right? You feel understood. That's secure, because why else are we in a relationship? You want to feel like your person understands who you are. Or if you guys have different views and opinions, you want to know that they can relate, they can have a similar understanding of that, or a similar knowledge, or an agreement to that. They can, understand. So you want to feel definitely understood. The other thing is in a secure relationship, and you guys let me know what do you think is what it means to be in a secure relationship. Please feel free to share your feedback. But the next thing is you feel safe. You feel safe. And I think that that's really good, because I can tell you, in the previous relationships that I've had, I did not feel safe. I did not feel secure. I did not feel confident. I felt like there was always other people in the background. Never felt like I was the only one. But as I said, because I was younger, I didn't have the knowledge and the education that I have now. I should have been left. You know what I mean? But sometimes you have to learn things the hard way, and that's the unfortunate part. But it's a lesson for you in the end. But yeah, you feel safe, and you feel like, your partner is there for you. Like, they want to protect you, they will defend you if necessary. You know what I mean? And vice versa. All right. So the next thing is that you have a space to be honest, right? So, in some relationships, it could be like, you could feel like you walking on eggshells, or you can't be who you are. You have to hide yourself, and you can't speak up. And, if you experience like some sort of conflict or an injustice or a disagreement, you can't speak up. You have to be like, they may, say something to me, or they may yell at me or hit me or abuse me. It's like, no, like, you have to feel safe enough to be honest and speak up and express yourself, right? And Gary, you said, for me, it would just be a sense of comfort. Okay, yeah, I definitely understand that. You said just not having to worry about the negative things that the narc does. Talk again soon. Yes, I totally get that. I appreciate your comment, Gary. And shout out to you, Gary, because he does ask me a lot of questions. So shout out to him, you guys. Subscribe to his channel. But yeah, no, I definitely can get that feeling comfort. That's the reason why we want to be in a relationship anyway. Not saying that you're dependent on that person for that, but that's something that you should actually experience in that particular relationship, right? So yeah. But you should definitely feel like you can be honest with that person. Because if you can't be honest with your person, then who can you be honest with? And why are you even with that individual? All right. So the next thing is you can be your full self. You can be who you are. You can be all of who and what makes you you. You can be that without, feeling judged or criticized or like, or feeling like you have to be something else or be somebody different, right? Because again, I can tell you that is something that I have dealt with, and it's not a good feeling. It's not nice, So you want to make sure that you are able to be your full self. All right. And then the next one is, you guys, for knowing and figuring out if this is a secure relationship, is if you feel supported. Do you feel supported in your relationship? Right. And if you don't, you have to figure out why. And maybe there's some things you have to work through. Again, some assessments, or just reviewing things, or talking to your partner and asking. Maybe you can ask, or they may ask you, what's the best way to make you feel supported, right? Or you can tell them how you would like to be supported. Because again, sometimes your partner may not know how to do all this stuff. Sometimes you may have to show them, you may have to tell them how you want to be supported, or how you want to be appreciated, or how you want to be comforted, Because sometimes a lot of us, our parents, they didn't teach us this. And this is the unfortunate part, but it's the truth, Not blaming our parents, but it's just maybe they didn't know it either. So how can they teach us, All right. So the next thing is, in a secure relationship, you feel valued. I love that one. You feel valued in that relationship. Again, you are in a relationship because you want to be appreciated, you want to be loved, you want to be accepted, you want to be valued. And if that value isn't there, if they don't see the benefit of you being there, they don't see what you bring to the table, they don't see what you have to offer, you got to let them go. You got to let them go. And you have to value yourself enough. You know what I mean? If you're seeing like some abuse, or you're seeing some red flags, or it's like some deal breakers are coming up for you, you have to value yourself to be able to be like, all right, this is not working out. I love you. I care about you, but I love me more, So yeah, and that can be difficult, right? Just thinking back. But yeah, so the next one, second to last, is your boundaries are not violated. Oh my gosh, you guys, what do y'all think about that one? Your boundaries are not violated. And I think that's a good one, because sometimes in a negative or a toxic or even a narcissistic relationship, your boundaries are violated. And if your boundaries are being violated, you need to, again, rethink the relationship, or reconsider this relationship. Is this relationship worth me being in this? If this person is like, let's say for instance, like a boundary you may have is, you don't want to be intimate as of yet. Maybe you're like, I want to be married before I get intimate, and maybe your partner may try something. You're just like, wait, I thought I told you I didn't want to do this until after I got married, Or it could also be something about social media or the phone. Like maybe you could feel like, oh, well, I don't want you to have access to certain stuff as of yet. Like I still want to get to know you. You know what I mean? The person is like hounding you, like, oh, I want access to your social media. I want access to your phone. Like right away, it's like, wait a minute, back up a little bit, let's assess this here. So yeah, or even this could also be like in regards to family. Like let's say if you told your partner maybe about how you think maybe their family is treating you, and maybe, or it could be like maybe you could have told your partner like, okay, I want to keep this information between you and I don't want your family members, or maybe even I might not share something with my family members. I want it to be between you and I. And then you find out that your partner has actually said something to their parents, or they may have found out that you've done the same thing, that's a boundary that's violated. So you just want to make sure that, if that happens, you might want to think twice, right? And I just feel like respect, respect and communication is a big one for me in a secure relationship, you know? So, and the last one, you guys, is you are able to grow and evolve in a secure relationship. And I honestly, I feel that that is actually the purpose of a relationship, is for you to grow and evolve. And you guys, let me know, what do you think? What do you think the purpose of a relationship is? And some people could be like, oh, it's just for pleasure and this and this and that. And some people may put a high emphasis on intimacy, which I feel like intimacy is important, but it's not like on the top of my list of what I find important in a relationship, but some people might, But for me, it's about growth and evolution, and it's about being independent and having your own life, being secure in who you are, having a life purpose, and then we come together and we share that, but we're not codependent on each other for different things like emotional needs and wants. We'll have that, but it's we don't really need it, if that makes sense. So yeah, you guys, that's all I have for the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Give it a like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what was you guys' biggest takeaway. And as always, I like to tell you guys, leave any topics that you guys want to learn about, so that way I can make a video like this. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Share this video with someone if you think it can help them or bless them. And yes, you guys, till next time, I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice week, and I'll see you next time. Take care.